So thank you everyone for joining today's session. Today we'll be discussing on the book, The Power of Now. It was written by the author Eckhart Tolle. It's a wonderful book which asks us to remind us to be in the present moment, right? So the author shares, right? Initially, he used to, suffer a lot. He had a lot of anxiety and he was going through a lot of things. So due to this, a lot of questions rise within him that led to a sudden, inner awakening within him. In that moment, when that awakening has happened, whatever the fearful identity, whatever he thinks that I am this body, or this particular identity, whatever he has fear of losing, that everything naturally, fell away, fell apart. And he experienced a deeper peace within him, a clarity and a sense of, aliveness and oneness, that he is no longer separate from everything. He experienced that oneness with everything and around him. And he also later realized that what everyone is looking for is within themselves. We always look, whatever the reasons or the answers, we always look outside, but it's always within us, right? It's already within us, but we need to realize that. So he wrote this book to make us realize that whatever we want is already within us. The truth is within us. It just we need to realize and to awaken that, or to, understand that. Right? It helps the people to recognize that whatever the false mind or whatever the identity we think we are, is not that. Right? To be in the present moment itself is the biggest thing. That's where everything lies. Whatever we want, a true happiness, a true joy, everything lies in the present moment. So we'll understand more about this. So let me share some slides. So as I said, this is the book, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. It is written by Eckhart Tolle, the author. So today we'll go with the chapter 1, that is, you are not your mind. We always think we are the mind, right? Whatever the mind thinks or whatever we think, that is what we are. But he's saying you're not your mind. So the greatest obstacle to enlightenment, we all want, right, to understand ourselves or realize who am I or whatever the highest thing. We all want to enlighten or to liberate ourselves. But what is the greatest obstacle in this path, right? So he says enlightenment is not a superhuman achievement, right? It's not something super, it's there within us. It's the natural state of, felt oneness within the being. When you be with yourself, when you be in the present moment, that's what is enlightenment. The ego keeps enlightenment distant by turning it into a goal. We always want to, understand ourselves, do a lot of things, but our ego comes, or a lot of distractions come. That's the mind, right? It stops us from achieving what we want or to do what we want. So we need to understand how we can, understand our mind and to deviate and to not to get deviated, but to understand our true purpose and to achieve this enlightenment. So he shares a story of a beggar. There was a beggar on the street who used to be there daily, from past 20 to 25 years, something. So one day, a stranger was passing next to him. Then he asked the stranger, please, give some money or whatever. Then the stranger says, no, I don't have anything to give you. And then after a moment, he asked him, what is that you are sitting on? Then the beggar says, it's nothing, it's just a box. I remember I was sitting it, from many years, but I don't know what is there. Then he asked, open it and see what is inside it. Then when the beggar opens it, he find, there are a lot of gold coins in that box. He was very happy. But here the author is saying it's not to look, in that box, what is there. It's to look within us. Whatever that happiness, whatever that satisfaction, or whatever, the abundance or wealth we are looking outside, it's there within us that we need to understand. The true wealth is radiant joy of being, the being state. If we think we are happy, we are not happy. Unless we experience that, we actually feel the joy and happiness from within. That's when we are truly happy, right? When that is there, we are unshakable inner peace. No matter what's going around us, what people say, but we never lose our peace. We'll be happy with ourselves, right? So, eternal, ever present, life beyond birth and death. What is that being state? Here, author is explaining it's always there, it's present, it's never dies, right? It's always there, but we are not, you know, uh, aware of that state. So, we need to understand within every form, as its essence, whether it's a flower or, the birds, nature, everything is being is there. But we as a humans, where our mind is there, we are not able to realize that state. The greatest obstacle is identification with the mind, right? We always have a lot of thinking. So we need to calm our mind or our thoughts, right? Equating thinking with identity. We always think what we think is what we are. If I think, okay, I'm, good at this or I'm this, that's what we feel. But that's just a quality, but we are not that. We are way beyond that. But we are limiting ourselves just by our thoughts or by what our mind thinks. I think, therefore I am. The result of mind identification is illusion of separation. Because of this illusion, we feel separate from each and everyone. Because I think I am separate. So I feel separateness from all of you. But at the root cause, we are all one. When we drop this identity, this body and everything, we are all energetically connected. We are all, one. But here in the physical level, we all feel we are separate, right? Because we fear, if I'm not there, what this identity is not there, what this job is not there, what this name is, fame is not there. We fear this identity of losing this identity. So we always, get attached to something. And then we feel happy. Okay, I am this. But that's the false identity that we are carrying. So enlightenment is end of suffering and freedom from this thinking. He's simply saying that enlightenment is nothing but the end of suffering. We just attach to each and everything and then we suffer, right? So when we start, being detached with everything, we'll be there present in that each and everyone with everyone, but we feel detached. Then we no longer have this suffering. Freeing yourself from your mind, right? It's very difficult. We are always with the mind. We always think, we get a lot of thoughts. And how can we free ourselves from the mind, right? Here the author says most people hear a constant inner voice. We always, whatever we do, there is something from India that comes, right? It might be saying, commenting something, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that, or judging or comparing with others. A lot of thoughts that we get. When we start listening to that, what happens? Then we suffer. We do a lot of things which we don't want. But he's saying freedom begins with watching the thinker. Just see who is thinking. From where these thoughts are coming, am I thinking or who is thinking? Just be an observer and see what your mind is thinking. Then slowly, you don't feel you're not attaching to thoughts, you're not giving energy to thoughts. After slowly, after some time, they all get, dissolved. Unless you pay attention, you give your energy to that, they keep on coming. The mind starts thinking, and the thoughts come. So whenever you get anything, thoughts, anything, just be an observer and see who is thinking. Right? Watching the thinker means listening impartially without judgment or condemning. Don't judge, what my mind is thinking or what type of thoughts I'm getting. Just be an observer. Okay, I'm getting thoughts, this, that. then what happens, right? When we observe this, then we realize that there is a thought, and here I am watching that. Right? You feel a separate. You be an observer, and you see that someone is thinking, the mind is thinking, it's not that you are thinking, right? The watcher presence is not a thought. When you are, observing your thought, that means you're not thinking, you are present, but you are not the thought. Observing is again, it's not thought, it's just being in the present moment. When thoughts are watched, when you observe them, they lose energy, right? And there will be a gap in the mind, no mind. So when you just be an observer, you're not thinking anything, you're just being there. That means there is a gap between the thought and your mind. You are separating it from you, yourself. Then that gap forms. So in this gap, what happened? There is a stillness, there is peace, there is joy, right? That is the beginning of awakening. When you just be an observer and do nothing, just be at peace, right? There'll be a gap coming between your thoughts. And that is where the stillness happens. Presence can be practiced in daily activities. So this you can start, observing in your day-to-day life whenever you get thoughts. Just be an observer and you can notice what's happening. So the measure of success is degree of the inner peace felt. When you observe, you no longer attach to your thoughts, right? Then you know who is thinking, why I'm getting this. You just be an observer. Okay, the thoughts comes and goes. Then you no longer feel any emotion with that thought. Then you feel that inner calm and peace. So enlightenment is rising above the thought. We are always attached to the thought. The author says, once you rise above your thought, that's where the enlightenment comes. The mind is a tool meant for specific task. He asks, whenever we need to do some actions, then we should use our mind. Then we can think while we are working or doing something. Other than that, no need to, think or use our mind. Just be calm. Just be an observer. Many of us might have the question, right? How can I be without my mind? That's what the author says in this book. Whenever you do some work, then use your mind. Otherwise, just drop it. Just be an observer and observe what's happening. Be with that awareness. So most of the time, what we think is repetitive. The same thoughts again comes. Okay, what I have to do tomorrow, or what happened yesterday, why this happened to me, or useless thoughts, or often sometimes harmful thoughts, right? Or what is negative for us, which stops us from moving forward. And again, the ego comes, the false self created by the mind. So whenever we are going to some thought, again, the mind creates some, random stories, or creates some things. And then again, we fall into the trap, right? Many times we feel, yesterday also we got a question, what if I'm sad? Can I do this meditation? So most of the time, what happens if we get some negative thought, someone said something, we don't just be with it. We go to past 5 years, 10 years. Then we again think, okay, that time 10 years back someone else said something. Then our mind starts recollecting all the things that happened, and we feel more and more unhappy. So we need to just be an observer. Okay, right now this person said something and my mind is thinking, that's it. No longer, we should not go into that past, or we should not recollect anything else. Then slowly what happens, the thought, that emotion get dissolved. So most of the times what happens, the ego lives in past and future. Right now, nothing is happening. Either it has happened or, right? We always think of future, I have to do something, I have to become great, or I have to this. That's where our ego lives. But in present moment, there is nothing. Right now, I'm good, I'm at peace. But if I think about past or future, then my ego comes, right? The present moment is the key to liberation. Enlightenment means does not mean losing the mind. It's just dropping the mind. You're not losing the mind, but we know when to use and when not to use our mind. It means rising above a thought, using thought consciously when needed. So when we be in that enlightenment state, it means we are inner stillness is there. Thinking become focused and effective. We know what we are thinking. We are aware. We are not just thinking as the mind is thinking, but we know what we are thinking, or what is we need to do. Creativity arrives from no mind. So when we drop that analytical mind, then naturally whatever our ability is, right, that comes the creativity or the answers or solutions comes. Many times people who just stay still in meditation, that's what we do, right? In meditation also. Whenever, we get thought, we just move our attention or observance to the breath. So that what happens, we are no longer giving any energy to a thought. Then what is needed, whatever the solutions or whatever the creativity is there, it's there within us that comes to the surface. And we get some solutions, we get some ideas, right? A lot of scientists and a lot of people who do a lot of creative work, when they are peace and calm, they get something, to do. Even the music, a lot of people who create musics, right? They also just go about, they sit silently, then they get some tunes which they can later develop into the music, right? So emotion, the body reaction to your mind. He's saying whatever the emotion we are getting is when the body reacts to our mind. So what the mind here includes thoughts, emotions, and unconscious reactive patterns. So many times, right, without knowingly we react or we respond. We are not conscious about it. The thoughts, the emotions. So the mind consists of all of this. So emotion arrives when the mind and body meets, right? When the mind is thinking something and the body is attached with that emotion, then what the reaction or response comes. So here he is giving some examples. Like sometimes we have some thoughts, right? We get anger. Means we want to hit someone, we want to shout, we want to do a lot of things, kind of attack, right? Threat thoughts that might be fear or low vibration or something, negative emotions that I'm not good, or fear of doing something, fear of losing. It can be any type of thoughts that we get. So emotions reveal unconscious thinking. When we are aware of what we are thinking or what emotion, then that is not there, right? If we are just unconsciously, whatever the thoughts are coming, if you're just feeling with going with that emotion, then it's becoming unconscious. When we are consciously aware, then we know why I'm feeling sad, everything is happy, why I'm just going with that awareness comes naturally. Strong emotions affect the body chemistry. Right? We all know when we think or when we get a lot of anger or unnecessary thoughts, our health also, it impacts our health. Separate emotions manifest as physical symptoms. Thoughts and emotion feed each other, right? It's a thinking feeling loop. So what we think, the same we feel, and based on our feelings, the mind creates, the thoughts. Then again, from the thoughts, we get the feelings. So it's a loop, continuous loop. So we need to break that. So presence break this cycle. When you're present, you're aware what's happening, then you break this cycle and you come out of that loop. Watching emotion is important as watching our thoughts, right? Both are interconnected. So some thoughts might come unless we give emotion. Okay, some thought came, okay, something has happened yesterday. Then we feel, yes, it's very bad. That person said something, I felt very bad. You start feeling emotion, to give emotions to that. Unless you feel, you know, your emotions are not that strong, the thoughts just, they get dissolved. If you keep on, thinking more or feeling about it, then that connection becomes more stronger and stronger. And it always comes up. So you need to let go of those things. So here he says practice. Feel emotions in the body. Do not analyze or judge. You are not the emotion, but you are the observer. You just need to be an observer. So at the root of all emotions is the pain, right? If something happens, we feel pain, we feel some kind of emotion. That's why we try to react. Loss of awareness of being, right? When we are not aware of that being state, then we start feeling this pain. Pleasure always contains the seed of pain, right? Whatever is happening, we always connect with the emotion. Unless we feel there is no pain, there is nothing is there. So joy, love, and peace, everything, they are the state of being. So whatever you feel, that's what you observe. If you feel joy or you recollect any, painful moments, what you're recollecting is up to you. Just need to be aware of that. Here the author says two level of pains. Pain created now, pain stored from the past. If something has happened right now, that creates some kind of pain, or you're just, recollecting something that has already happened and you're just, feeling bad about it. That we need to understand. Is something happened now, or I'm just thinking about it and feeling that pain and that emotions? So that's what he said. Most of the time we are living in the past. So freedom comes when we demystify, right? Disidentify the from the mind. It just everything is a mind is creating. The mind is thinking, the thoughts. So when you be that observer, then you free from all of these emotions and the thoughts. You just be an observer. Then no longer you're carried away by your thoughts and emotions, becoming the present. So overall, he's saying that when you be in that present moment and you're not attached, you're aware of your thoughts, you're not paying any attention to them, then you get free from all this suffering, this unwanted pain and everything. So the summary of this chapter is you are not your mind, you are the awareness watching it. When you start practicing this, the treasure is already there. Whatever you're looking outside, the joy, happiness, everything is within you. It just we need to be aware of that. Presence reveal what thinking hides. When you're aware, our thoughts and minds, they just distract us. But when everything is gone, then the presence reveals what you truly are. Enlightenment is remembering who you are. And some of the questions to reflect on, right? Can I notice my thoughts without believing them? So this we can practice this week, right? Whenever you get the thoughts, just be as an observer. Who is aware of my thinking right now? When the mind is thinking, just think, am I aware of what my mind is thinking or who is thinking? Just be an observer. Where in my life do I live? More in past, future, or now? What changes when I stay in presence for a few seconds? This you can try your own and you will get these answers, right? So, friends, with this, I stop the sharing. So, before we go into meditation, if anybody wants to, ask or share anything, you can raise your hands. Or if you have read the book, you want to share your thoughts on this, please feel free to share. Any questions?
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Apurva, for the wonderful sharing. And chapter one is definitely the present moment always is very important. And the meditation will give you, the first benefit you see that be in the present moment. It helps you to be in the present moment and let go the past. And friends, if you try to read the chapter one, so whatever Apurva is mentioned here, the outlines of the most of the important points. But if you go through the chapter again, you'll understand more. When you read multiple times, you'll understand more. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aparva. This is Venu here. Yeah, whatever the points you mentioned, it's really today, like I was thinking about let go, whatever the past was happened. So myself and my wife was discussing. So we were worrying about what is happening, why we were talking, why in that way, or why that person is did like that. So now you covered in this session. It's in a very good way. So be a observer, that's what we mentioned. So yeah, it's like you covered a lot of points which we needed now, emotional wise. So thank you so much, Purva, for covering like all those points.
Yeah. Thank you, Venu sir. Thank you. Yes, Shanti ji.
Thank you, Apurva. That was a beautiful presentation. I was reminded of a couple of things. Swami says often the being is lost in the becoming. You know, the being, we are not in the being. Swami says the present is the omnipresent. This is the fruit from the past, and this is the seed for the future. The only place we can make a difference is now. That's all we have. Thank you.
Yes, because we always, most of the time things doesn't happen, but we think, and we feel bad. So we need to be aware of who is thinking. Once we start observing, I think most of the suffering just get dissolved. Right? Being in the present moment that we all need to practice. But when we do this meditation, that awareness comes, but throughout the day, we can start observing, right? The author says when you walk, each step, just observe, how many steps you came or whatever you do, be in the present moment, then that unnecessary thoughts will naturally get dissolved. We just, unconsciously we do things and our mind is somewhere. But when we put the mind in whatever we are doing, then that presence or being the present moment naturally comes. So yeah, thank you, friends. So yeah, anybody else have anything want to share or ask? So if not, let's go into meditation, dear friends. So as usual, 9:30 we'll do a 30 minutes of meditation. So if anybody is new today, I just want to share. So here we are practicing the breath mindfulness meditation. So as you see in the picture, you can sit comfortably, close your eyes, clasp your hands, fingers into fingers, and cross your leg at ankle if you're sitting on chair or sofa, anywhere. The comfortable posture is important so that you can, sit for the longer time and just observe your normal natural breath. Don't forcefully inhale or exhale, but whatever the natural, the breath is, the breathing is happening, just observe how breath is going in and coming out of your nose or nostrils. So as you observe your breath, slowly the unwanted thoughts get, dissolved. That's what we have learned in today's chapter also. So with this, let's do this meditation.
Friends, just be with your breath. Just observe how breath is going in, coming out. Just completely relax and observe your normal, natural breath. Just completely relax and be with your breath. When you get thoughts, just come back to your breath. Just relax. Just try to go into yourself deeper and deeper. There is nothing around you and inside you. Just be with your breath. Friends, try to go into yourself deeper and deeper. Everything is empty around you and inside you. Just completely relax. Be with your breath. Try to empty your mind. Just drop everything. Just merge with that emptiness. Whenever your mind is empty, you receive a lot of cosmic energy through your Brahmandra. Just feel the energy. Just be with your breath. friends. Just be with your breath. Everything is empty around you and inside you. Just merge with an emptiness. There is no body. Just completely relax. Be with your breath. Just observe normal, natural breath. Just relax. Okay, friends, come back to your body. Just recollect your experience from this session. Back to your breath. Let's express gratitude. Gratitude is the highest state of energy receivership. Gratitude to all gods, gurus, mentors, teachers in your life. Be grateful to your parents, friends, family members, and around you. Be grateful to everything what you use. And be grateful to the beautiful nature. Just relax. Slowly keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. Slowly open your eyes when you are ready. Thank you. Thank you, friends and masters. If anybody would like to share your experience or any questions, please feel free to raise your hand.
Yes, friends, please do share how was your meditation or anything you would like to share. And I hope you like the session. So we'll be continuing tomorrow with the chapter 2. So please join us again. So we have started this series, right? Wisdom and meditation. So when we do this meditation, we get a lot of energy and clarity. But by reading the books, understanding the wisdom, we can evolve our consciousness. We can do a lot more. That understanding comes naturally. And as it says, right? With wisdom, we can, dissolve our suffering and many more. So reading books is also equally important. So together we'll, go in this journey. Thank you, friends. If there are no questions, so we'll end this session here and we'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. Again, 9 p.m. Central Time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.